All right, I'm going to have a go at the Guardian's Everyman Crossword. Comes out every Sunday. I'm doing it on December 22nd. I'm wondering if Everyman will have any Christmas theme today. Let's see. Wild Misery, drinking drop of Dubonnet. Oh yeah, I remember Dubonnet. Don't think I ever drank it. It's only partly sweet. Oh, well, I'm immediately thinking that's the definition at the end, and it's something like semi-dry. I think, yeah, the opposite of sweet for sherry would be dry, I think. Yeah, so it's going to be an anagram of misery, and then that's going to take the D from Dubonnet, and so we get our semi-dry. All right, let's try these downs. Creepy crawly, one in which you find the Spanish caviar. Ooh, that's not a nice mental image. Um, yeah, is there a Spanish equivalent of caviar? I don't know what that is. Coriander, instead linguistically American name that's rife online. Primarily, this is the trademark Everyman clue. So, cilantro. Now, I suppose because it is, linguistically American name. Oh, so it must be the American name for coriander. I didn't know that. All right. It's useful for Yorkshire puddings. We've had a lot of food so far. Is that the theme? Cake, sandwich, more cake? Yeah, it seems to be a food and drink. So I presume that's related to Christmas and other holidays. Anyway, it's useful for Yorkshire puddings. Left out in the rain, perhaps. I'm thinking a punning double definition. Maybe it is something that is put in Yorkshire pudding, and then it sounds like it's left out in the rain, damp. No. Golden Gate, first, some cake. Yeah, maybe um, a word for golden, and then it starts with the first letter of gate, and then some word for cake that doesn't finish. No. Meaty sandwich ingredient that might be Old Norse. Ooh. I presume it is going to be a meaty sandwich ingredient. Excuse me. O for old, and then maybe an anagram of Norse might be, like possibly can be used for an anagram. No, don't see that. We'll do one more down. Evidently hungry. Doctor taking first slice of cake, fresh out of the oven. Wow. No, don't see that either. All right, back to the acrosses. Appetizing cabbage. There's a contradiction in terms. Stuffed with quark on a regular basis. So I presume it's going to mean appetizing, and we're going to take something for cabbage. Oh, head. Cabbage could be a head, and maybe that's stuffed with every other letter from quark. I'm thinking that's going to be the U and R. And it's going to mean appetizing. No. Cultivated, pasturage, but no time for mange to. All right, so I think we're going to anagram or cultivate pasturage, but that is 9 letters. We have to remove a T for time to get our 8. And then that's going to be mange to. What's another name for mange to? I think it's going to be something P, but I don't see it, so I'm going to have to use the anagram helper. Oh, a sugar P, I think. Yes, I'm not up on my P's, I'm afraid. Urge nephew to get round, grand festive booze. Well, if you urge somebody, you egg them on usually. Nephew can be abbreviated to N. Round is acceptable to clue the letter O. And a grand could be G. And eggnog is the festive booze. All right. In speech, would you let every man drink? So I'm thinking it's going to be a homophone. In speech, would you let every man? And then maybe it's going to be a drink. Now, every man referring to himself, but it's saying, would you let every man? No, I don't see it. Adieu, eaves off. This calls for strong drink. All right, 8 letters. I think adieu and eve are 8. And if that is off or anagrammed, it's going to be a strong drink. I'm thinking it's ode something. I should get that. But something like Ishkabaha, only maybe in French. What is that? The V is the eau de vie. Yeah, so actually, I think it probably is a similar sort of derivation as Ishkabaha, water of life. Oh, okay. Behind boozer, fatso that's often steaming. Wow. Something that's often steaming. I'm wondering if it's going to be a something pudding. Oh no, pudding is. Oh no, pudding is 7. Yeah, that's all right. But you do steam a. But I think we're going to have boozer. Could be the pub, or it could be the person boozing there. And then fatso. I don't know. Oh, could steaming be an anagram indicator? The letters in boozer, fatso are so strange that maybe that is an anagram, and then that is could be IE. No. Greens, then fruitcake and fried patisserie item. Well, I'm thinking fruitcake, even though it fits in with the theme of seasonal food, can also mean someone who's a bit of a nutter. Greens, then fruitcake. And then maybe it is I don't know what a fried patisserie item. Oh, actually, I do. The British spelling of donut. So I think greens can be slang for money or dough, and a fruitcake could be a nut. All right, this clue, the surface doesn't have anything to do with food, so maybe the answer does. Somewhat somber, a stockbroker's bust. No, it's a hidden clue. And within those words, we have breast, so bust, breast. So not fitting the theme with that one. Can't win them all, I suppose. One particular ticket seller, vocally eschewed home cooking. Yes. So I think if you don't want home cooking, you'll want to eat out. And I think, oh yeah, no, in the past tense, it's ate out. And so one particular ticket seller might be a tout. All right. One opening function. First I reveal curry. Well, other than a function possibly being a do, but I think it's going to be some kind of curry, and I do not know my curries. Pupils nervously bottling beer. Wow, that's a great clue, but I've no idea. Like, where's the word? Nervously, of course, could be maybe an anagram, but and bottling. Oh, yeah, so I think it's going to be a word for nervously is going to go around beer, and that's usually for a short word, ale. But you'd only have four letters for nervously, and it's going to mean pupils. Now, students, I suppose, not the part of the I. All right, how about last across judge, which can be J, I think, with mounds of fat heading off for desserts. Mounds of fat might be bellies, and with the J in front, you get your jellies. I do like a nice jelly, a jelly trifle. I know it's probably not cool to say it, but I prefer a jelly trifle to a sherry trifle. I'm sure I'm in the minority on that. All right. Too bad. Kept a vulgar jacketed item. As I'm thinking the definition might be, yes, a jacketed item, and this is in keeping with the theme. I haven't worked out the wordplay yet, but surely it's a baked potato. Too bad, I think might be boo. Oh no, I think it's an anagram of too bad kept a. Yeah, that's 11 letters, and vulgar is being used as an anagram indicator. I think the setters are trying to outdo each other in how obscure their anagram indicator can be. All right, flings cut short, stopped by questionable charmer. I think it's going to be a charmer. Now, is that a charming person or a snake charmer? Yeah, or somebody who does witchcraft of some kind, hypnotist. But I think we're going to have a word for flings that is shortened, and it's going to be stopped by, which I think means we can put inside it something for questionable, iffy, or could it be Q? I don't think so. All right, an aperitif are 10, no mate on reflection. All right, on reflection suggests we're going to read something backwards. Yeah, and so unless the definition is on reflection, then I presume the definition is going to be an aperitif. But what's the R10? I think that's going to be part of the wordplay. Yeah, so maybe it ends in net. Ooh, I think it might be the Dubonnet we had earlier. So we have 10, no bud reading backwards. There we go. Reserve cash for summer treat. Well, the first thing at the letters summer treat that came into my mind was an ice lolly. Now in Ireland, we never call them ice lollies, an ice cream or a chalk ice or something like that. But I think to reserve, I suppose, is putting something on ice, and cash can be lolly. I know that from reading the Beano and Dandy. right. German, to wake up and complain. Well, I think G for German, and to wake someone up would be to rouse them, and grouse is to complain. Woody, spice. Prized item, cask sent up. Yeah, so looking at the N and the T, when I saw something about a spice, thought of nutmeg. Excuse me. It's another reversal indicator sent up. So reading backwards, we have a gem, which is a prized item, and a TUN, ton, is another name for a wooden barrel. All right, prepare, round, ball. That'll cleanse your palate. Oh, um, yeah, so I'm thinking of a sorbet is a popular palate cleanser. So prepare, to prepare something might be to set it, as in set the table, and that goes around an orb. And there we go. All right, well, I don't know curries, but I do know tandoori, excuse me. All right, but how do we read the wordplay? Um, I think one opening is a door, but we have to put a function first. So it's not a do, it's a mathematical function tan. And then I comes at the end. That reveals tandoori. Here's our pupils nervously. Well, I'm finding it hard to see how, yeah, ale would not go in the middle. Bass might. But nervously, then I think would have to end in an S. Yeah, I don't see that. All right. We're missing the little line to tell us where the started, but it does certainly look like some kind of pudding. Uh, we always just call it plum pudding or Christmas pudding. Oh, blood pudding, but 6 letters. Bloody pudding. Mmm. Behind boozer. Is fatso pudding? Is fatso an insulting term for somebody who's overweight? Um, Not sure about that. Anyway, 6 down definitely looks like an ing word. Evidently hungry. Doctor taking first slice of cake. Could that just be simply the letter C? And then is fresh out of the oven. Yeah, I don't know if that's the definition. So something that is steaming or bubbling. Evidently hungry. Oh, something to do with tummy rumbling? I would know all about that. And you would too. Um, Meaty sandwich ingredient might be old Norse. Yeah, not seeing that. Ooh, that surely cake would be gâteau. Uh, yeah, I think it's a very, I mean, bafflingly simple. I think the word gate goes first, and then we have AU, the chemical symbol for gold, and gâteau is cake. Oh, that must be our Christmas present from Everyman. And of course, when you see this, it will be after Christmas. So I hope you had a good one. All right. Now, of course, I know it's useful for Yorkshire puddings. Is dripping, which I think is a type of lard, right? Um, and if something was left in the rain, it might be dripping, which reminds me of the old joke. Um, was it Ken Dodd or I can't remember who told it, but guy goes into the butcher's and asks the woman behind the counter, "Do you keep dripping?" And she says, "Yes." And he says, "It's embarrassing, isn't it?" Anyway. All right. Ooh, would you let every man? I'm thinking toi, that it might be in French. No. Could it be, would you let, oh, something to I, maybe? But what is the, I don't know, I presume it's a phrase that's used in English, something toi. I know tais-toi, avec toi. But I'm thinking, would you let every man drink? It's something like gin, toi. What else could it be? TUI? Oh, could be, yeah. Um, TRI? I don't think so. Ah, so now, oh, I'm wondering about sponge. The only slang meaning of sponge I know is somebody who tries to get things for free or borrow money from you, a sponge. But maybe a sponge is also a drinker because they soak it up. But then is sponge pudding something that is steamed? Well, let's look at our flings. Cut short, stopped by questionable charmer. So flings, I think, would probably be a word like throws, casts, shies. That's one that comes up a lot. But that's going to be cut short. Hmm. Ah, yeah. So I was thinking, well, if it was shies, then you'd end in IE. And oh, I thought, yeah, as if you're an old smoothie, you're a charmer. And I suppose questionable is moot. It's a moot point. And so you get your smoothie. All right, here's our pupils now. Nervously bottling beer. Oh, I didn't think of IPA, but pupils. There must be, or maybe it is a beer. Let me pause and ponder the possibilities. Oh my goodness. I noted that it just seemed, I don't know, there's something off about it, but it's simply a hidden clue. And bottling is just saying within pupils nervously, we do have Pilsner. There we go, type of beer. All right, the bottom half is done. Still quite a few in the top. All right, what's going to come between the G and the E here? An L, could be a U. I think an L seems likely. Meaty sandwich ingredient. Is it going to be something, Marmite, something like that? Vegemite. Um, yeah, not seeing it. Oh, tongue. Ah, yes. I've never eaten it. I mean, just the name alone, I can't get past that. But that is something people put in a sandwich, and Old Norse is just an example of a language, a tongue. All right, here's our appetizing. Ooh, something like savory, maybe? Savory will fit. Cabbage. Oh, I think there is a Savoy cabbage, yes, with the U and the R from Quark. All right. So evidently hungry. Doctor. I presume doctor is it going to be DR at the beginning? Oh, drooling would be hungry. Taking first slice of cake fresh out of the oven. Ah, so a cake that is fresh out of the oven, I think, is cooling, and you take away the first slice of that, so you're left with the ooling. I think that's how that's supposed to work. All right, amazingly, just two left. I think I'm doing better than last week's, which was a bit of a disaster, although I'm still, yeah, it's not going to be a great time today, but that's all right. Sure, it's Christmas. Creepy crawly. Oh, could it be some kind of a bug? One in which you find the Spanish. Oh, isn't there beluga? Oops, beluga. Oh, yeah. So creepy crawly is bug. One is A, and inside it we have to put the in Spanish, which is L, and we get our beluga caviar. All right. In speech, would you let every man drink? No, and I do need to move along here. Of course, Christmas celebrations in full swing. So I'm going to pause and look up wordplays.com to see what this could be. I never thought of putting an A there. I'm not sure even if I had, if I would have put it together, but a drink could be a Mai Tai. And so every man might say to us, might I have that drink? That's very clever. All right, we don't have the check all button to make sure I got all of that right and didn't make a typo as I usually do. Anyway, I'm fairly confident. If I made any mistakes or there were any that I misunderstood, please let me know in the comments. Anyway, thank you as always for watching and have a wonderful day.